Well, hello everyone. I wanted to talk about change and time and change with you today, because I feel like we're in a very big time of change. Don't you agree? Part of the mind might agree, the other part might not, because all it sees is more of the same every day. And that can really draw us back, can make us feel depressed, it can make us feel stagnant, closed, trapped, all of these things that really aren't fun to feel and can cause a lot of procrastination and stress. But it doesn't have to be this way, because we are able to change our mind, our perception. So I know you've heard that before, but we're really gonna just trust that this is the case now, because we're not gonna find anyone else be able to do this for us. It's something that we have to do ourselves, and if we don't, we'll keep going in circles, in loops, loop-de-loops around the same mental, emotional, energetic and physical problems, issues, hindrances. So that's something we want to release actually, even just now with this smoke. Just as it falls from this earth and this fire with the wind, it can begin to release into the ethers. You know, there's a reason why things don't change maybe as quickly as we'd like them to. Number one is that you're not in control of everything, right? The universe is, life is. But you are in control of what you're holding, grasping, that maybe might take a bit longer if you don't let go sooner. So what I mean is, we may have already gone through a change, and we're kind of waiting for the rest of the change to take place. That means that we are kind of in limbo, we're in between spaces, where we're not fully in the now, we're somewhere in between, past, future. And that can be an experience that we all must go through at one point or another, but there is a way that as a collective we can make it last longer. And why would we want to make pain, suffering, stress last any longer than it has to, when technically there's a change that's already happening, but because some of us, almost all of us, at some point or another cling to something, and to what, I don't know. Only you know what it is, because it's very personal for you, it's personal to me. Sometimes it's not clear what it is you're holding on to, but this is your opportunity, this is our opportunity to look now. What could it be that you're clinging to that wants to crumble? What really wants to crumble from your life? And I would start with you personally. I would start with your emotional space. Is there some kind of emotion that you feel on a daily basis that you kind of can just decide, I don't have to feel this emotion. whether it's loneliness, whether it's doubt, self-doubt. I don't have to feel that way. That's something that I begin to feel and then I agree with. I give it my consent. And that's how it lingers, because the thing is that emotions can be just as quick to go as thoughts can. You know how we have all these thoughts that come in on a daily basis, and some of them really just come out of nowhere and they don't really seem to, and same with dreams, they just come out of nowhere. Some of them are useful or make us happy, some of them kind of make us disgusted. And well, that's the same with life. Everything can have a resonance with you, or it can have a response, a reaction with you. And here's the responsibility we have to take now, because it's like we're not children anymore. And even if we were children, we get taught by the adults, so we have no excuse in that. If we think that life is always going to provide us with what's best for us, we're kidding ourselves, because life will provide for us the whole spectrum of what consciousness, collective consciousness, is all about. And as we know, collective consciousness, our consciousness, we have a devil and an angel on our shoulders at any one given moment. Neither one is good or bad, it's just a choice. It's a choice to choose what you want to change and what you want to keep the same. So the way that I put this conversation about the devil and the angel to my partner the other day was to think about it as, you know, when you're having a conversation, and even though you're talking about something that you know in the back of your mind, the deepest part of your heart, you absolutely love. You know, it's maybe something that you felt a lot of love for at one point in your life, but while you're talking about it to somebody or thinking about it, you're not having good feelings. You're kind of a bit dull, like you're kind of in a monotone, like you just kind of, yeah, I love that too, yeah. You know, and there's no enthusiasm. And that's actually, the way that I described this phenomena is that's kind of like you're still leaning a little bit towards your devil side, which wants to be a catharsis, like have some catharsis in that moment. It's not actually wanting to talk or do the things or just kind of bask in the good energies in that particular moment. It needs to release something first. It's kind of like when you get a massive wave hit you of good energy. Do you want to know the first thing that has to happen? You have to release a load of gunk, a load of crap first. And wow, like it makes no sense, because it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be having a good time. This is some amazing energy coming my way. Why? And number one thing is that the good energy doesn't feel good, first of all, unless you're like tip top, which most of us, you know, living on this planet on a daily basis, going through what we're going through, not so tip top all day, every day. But we can be tip top, like the good energy comes after we've removed something. So you have this decision to make. The way I was describing it was that when you're maybe a bit more in your devil mode, where you're kind of, you need some catharsis, you need something to complain about, you know, it just feels that way. Even though we don't want to complain or anything like that, it's just there. And we need to move something through, and there's many ways we can do this without having to complain or dump stuff on people or name call or give vitriol, any of that. There's actually better ways to do it, but you know those. I'm not going to speak through those. I think, as I said, that everything is okay. We don't need to judge anything, but we do want to get more into our angelic body, and here's why. If we want change to really happen on a collective level, we need to raise the vibration of our frequencies. Because the change we're looking for is change that's positive, that helps, that makes a difference in the way we feel about life. That's really the change we're all looking for, all right? Because it's no one particular thing. When I say change, some of you might think political, some of you might think environmental, some of you might think spiritual, you know, all of these things. But really, change is going from that devil on your shoulder to becoming the angel. And the way that we become the angel is okay, so you're talking about something that you love in a monotone kind of voice, or maybe just not really passionate about it. Well, in that moment, you might be able to recognize that you're kind of clinging to your devil's side. And your devil's side is there for good reason, by the way. It's not all bad. It can be bad, but again, words and judgments not required, okay? But with the devil in us, in all of us, we actually can recognize it and be like, oh, okay, so what I need right now is this. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to let it get to me too much. I just know that in this moment, I can choose to be clinging to my devil, or I can let go of it. And every time you let go of the devil in you, it's kind of like you're no longer holding on to mummy or daddy's pants anymore. You know, as a child, when you kind of grip on, or you see children grip onto their parents because they're afraid or they're shy, it's just like that. It's really, that's the most innocent side of it. That's the most innocent part of the devil, okay? Is it just wants to be safe, it just wants to be cared for, but in doing that, it gives away its sovereignty, it gives away its responsibility. That's what the devil's about. And it's more complicated than that, okay? And there's a whole plethora of things. Like this place is, life in general is incredibly intricate and complex in all of its layered emotions, experiences, you name it. But here's what I want to talk about now, is the angelic side of us, because that's what creates real change. Because when I say real change, what I mean is positive change. What I mean is raising the frequency of the collective to the place where we're no longer in a space where we look at things as wrong, mad, crazy, stupid, any of that stuff. We look at it and we say, we created this. And we did it through our own will and responsibility to know that it's up to us to change ourselves, okay? So here's an example would be, you're wanting to, you know what, it's not even about wanting to, you just know, you just recognize when you're in your angelic body. It's like you're talking about something that you love, and you're giving it momentum, and you're giving it this energy that is indescribable actually, but it just feels like love, it feels like peace, feels like joy, and you speak about that, and it's as simple as that. That's how you raise your vibration. That's how you raise the consciousness of all of those around you. You just be very honest with where you're at. So the choice is yours, really. The choice is yours. But remember, sometimes that choice might be dictated by how you feel, how you think, what your body feels like, what your energy talks like. So just kind of don't beat yourself up. Don't blame anything or anyone else, including source, including consciousness. Try not to blame life anymore. Just take that responsibility of like, okay, yep, so I am in this place. I need some catharsis. Okay, yep, I'm in this place. I need to express, share, love, enjoy my own perceptions and experiences of this consciousness, of this vessel, because we aren't here forever. I know it might seem like it when we're in the doldrum kind of space of waiting for change to happen, but that's how we get kind of trapped. Actually, that's how we feel trapped, is we're waiting for change to happen, but we're literally just waiting. We're not actively being in the moment where we can, you know, it's kind of like putting things off for later. That's what waiting for change to happen is like. It's like putting something off for later. Whereas if you realize that source, that consciousness is not actually listening to your dreams and goals, and it's not actually listening to what you absolutely love in terms of the words that you use, what it's listening to is your frequency. So I can talk all day about how I want to build a sanctuary, an animal sanctuary, where people can come and buy natural organic products from us that are from the farm, and they can have meditation circles, drum circles, song circles with us. I can talk about that all day. But if I'm not in my angelic space when I talk about it, where I'm excited, and I'm not talking about faking, like, you got to be authentic with this. You can't just fake it to make it. Some instances you can, and I'm not going to say across the board you can't do that, but in this instance I'm going to say be authentic with where you're at, because that's what's going to create real change. Because if you're actually talking to someone about all of your dreams, but your frequency, your energy is like basically like talking of lack and how you don't have it, even if you might be using positive words, if your frequency is talking about it in a way that is kind of annoyed or stressed or what, you name it, you need some catharsis in that moment. You kind of need to just be honest and say, you know what, I'm a bit with yourself. You don't need to say this to anyone. This is for you, okay? I'm actually I think I need a breather. I need to just be still and silent and not think about all the problems in my life. Just be still, just be silent. Call in the ethers, call in the elements. Don't sit there and dwell on your devil side. Just be like, I think I need something else in this moment to reset my energy. And just sit there and just be whatever you need to be. Come back again another time and speak about your angelic being in a way where you're just speaking in English words, but your frequency is like, it's already here. You've already got it. You're already speaking to family, to friends, to acquaintances, to business partners about how you did it, how you got there, how you got to this place, and how proud of yourself you are. You speak about that in your energy. That's your angelic body. That, even though it seems quite personal and like you're not really helping other people, that's where we start. If we try and go out and help other people first, before we've raised our frequencies. I mean, I'm not saying don't go out and help people when you're in a devil mode. You can still do that, but you don't get as far. When you're in a devil mode, you kind of need to be... You need to do what's right for you. But when you're in your angelic mode, that's when you probably should share, even if it's just in the ethers. You know, you can put out affirmations. I love you. I'm so grateful. Thank you for this life. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Father Sky. Okay? These are the types of times when we can share and co-create and be beautiful and create so much beautiful change. But if you are trying to create change by using your devil side to talk about it, it's like gripping onto Mummy and Daddy's legs and saying, I want to be independent. Let me be independent and sovereign. And yet you're clinging to their leg. They're just going to take you with you. They're just going to take you with them and not listen to a word you're saying. Does that make sense? I hope so. So, yeah. I hope that makes sense. To give you that analogy there. In terms of what creates real change, I think there's some leeway there. Like, it's not black and white where we can just be like, okay, I'm in my devil mode, I need to not be around anybody. It's not like that where you can't be authentic, right? Remember, authenticity, it brings you in the middle. The way that you be authentic with yourself and other people is to, guys, you know what? I'm not feeling good, I'm not feeling bad, I'm being authentic with you right now, and that doesn't need a label. Sometimes we don't need the label, especially if we're sharing with someone else. You can give yourself the label, but as soon as you tell someone else, oh, I'm in an angelic mode right now, oh, I'm in a devil mode right now, they add judgments, projections, observations to it that's not required. Only your consciousness needs to know that. And then once you know that, because you use the label and you let it go, or you just recognize something and you do the change, you make the change happen, even if it takes a week, a year, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Time is not as important as the quality of time is important. Does that make sense? Like, the amount of time is not important versus the quality of time that you spend with your consciousness and with life. So time is relative to your frequency. It kind of, it goes faster or quicker or whatever you call it, depending on the quality of experience that you're presenting to yourself and the world. I mean, you don't necessarily, you present it to the world, but it's more like you just experience it for yourself. But we're all presenting a show to the world. So like I said to you, you want to create real change? You present your angel self if you're authentically being your angel self. If you're not authentically being your angel self, be your devil self and allow yourself some catharsis, but do it in a way that's still listening to your angel self, that's saying, okay, so how is it best for me to release this? And I just got some back tingles actually with that. You're still listening to both sides, even as your angelic self. You're listening. Oh, is my devil self coming up in this moment a little bit? Is it kind of annoyed? Is it shadowy? Okay, right. Let me deal with you for a second. So you just need some of this. You just need some of that. Okay, I'm authentic again. Oh, let me listen to my angelic self. I've just been waiting to express all of this emotion and good feelings, and oh, I'm just so grateful I can share it and co-create with it and just be beautiful. Be beautiful when you're in your angelic self. Be cathartic when you're in your devil self. It's all right. But don't pretend to be either one, because you will not come to the middle ever. And the middle is where we float through life. We don't actually stay on either one of these spectrums. We always come back to the middle, because otherwise we don't move. We don't make movement. It's kind of like expecting to be on a high all the time doesn't get you anywhere. Expecting to be on a low all the time definitely doesn't get you anywhere. You kind of have to bridge the two and realize that you are all that is, and that you are the I am, and that you are everything and nothing. Peace, everybody. Peace to you. Love and light your way. Namaste.